Things you didn't know you needed to know about nature, part 39. We have lost 1 in 5 butterflies in the United States over the past 20 years. This data comes from a study published in the scientific journal Science that was recently featured by National Geographic, which found a 22% decline in butterfly abundance across all species in the United States. It was a study done in 2020 to 2022, and although that was a few years ago, there have been changes in specific species since then. For example, with monarchs, the species with the most attention, the western population is severely declining. Well, the eastern population has actually almost doubled this year from last year, but the populations are still critically low across the board. And of course, there are increased weather events happening, such as, the intensity of fires that we're seeing on the West Coast. And all of this is affected by climate change, and that really harms populations. But so does habitat loss due to human development and the rampant use of pesticides. Species decline in butterflies and other pollinators is extremely disheartening and a little scary, but we can make a difference in our own landscapes to help local species, and that's through planting a high diversity of native plants. And often when we focus on butterflies and other pollinators, we usually think about blooms, which are very important, but of even more importance for butterflies and moths might be the native host plants we include in our spaces to support all of those little munching caterpillars. They are just as important, if not more. And to attract and support specific species, it's always good to look up the host plants that those species want and add them to your space. For example, if you really like tiger swallowtails and want to help them, tulip poplars and wild black cherries are great species. They're also going to support countless of other species at the same time, but they're 2 of our favorite ones. And also, stop using pesticides, including herbicides and fungicides. They do far more harm to the environment than any benefit they might provide to the user. And we do have the power to help the world around us. And if we all stopped using pesticides and planted native plants of all shapes and sizes, it would actually make a difference. And do not forget about planting trees. That's why I brought them up. We often focus so heavily on wildflowers when we're thinking about pollinators, which are extremely important, but of equal importance are trees, especially for butterflies and moths, because they are often a host plant for so many species. For example, oaks are usually host plants for about 400 different species of caterpillars. So although it can feel really depressing and overwhelming, everything that's going on, there are small steps we can take in our own spaces to feel like we are making a difference, that we're truly enacting some type of positive change, and that we'll actually be able to see those benefits in our local ecosystem because of steps that we've taken. So thank you so much for watching. If you don't follow us, please do. If you already follow us, thank you so much. And thank you for any step you can take to help the incredible wild world around you and your local ecosystems. Well, thank you. Bye.